Let's talk about cancel culture and online opinion. Recently, big boy YouTuber Fitz got apparently cancelled by a Twitter group of Minecraft stuff and shit, for calling himself retarded while playing the game. Now it doesn't really matter what's your stance on the use of this word or on the treatment of actually mentally ill people in this case. Here I think that using the R word in a self-deprecating manner does not necessarily make the issuer of the word an oppressor of slow people. To be honest, if I had an actual problem against mentally ill people, I would make extra an effort not to qualify myself as one over a small thing in a video game. You could also put forth the argument that calling something the R word does not necessarily have to be in order to throw some hate at a certain population, but that just like some other slurs, the R word has been used as an insult for such a long time that its meaning to some people has shifted from a degrading word aiming at slow people to an insult of its own independent meaning from them, or that calling something the R word is an insult to the person you are speaking to only, as you're insulting her, and not actual mental people. However, I don't entirely agree with that. Now as to Fitz, knowing if he is actually aiming to oppress slow peoples and his word needs you to go check his videos in general form of comedy and make your own opinion. I personally believe easily that he is not trying to do that. The problem in this story does not come from Fitz or his lexicon. In fact, the problem with this situation comes from Twitter. It is important that people defend other people and denounce problems in society, but making such a big affair of such a small event is what creates a stupid movement of stupid peoples jumping onto a train of thoughts that aren't actually theirs. There is an actual problem from that effect, a danger that has found itself a name in recent years. It is simply the cancel culture. Now I'm pretty sure that cancel movements actually start sometimes with good vibes, and some of the people supporting this movement actually aim to make something good out of it, but that would be forgetting one of main rules of social stupidity on internet. Everyone has to be part of a team no matter the cost. You know? Like those people who act like men and women are two different football teams and support only one of these, or those who are so terribly craving to be part of something special that they set aside their own pride to agree mindlessly to group formed scuffed logic like anti-vax. While a minority actually believe in some idiotic subject, some others follow without thinking too much about it because they feel like they need to be part of something, anything. This makes me think I could create my own sect pretty easily and get followers to throw stupid amount of money at me. Another time maybe. Now cancel culture works on a simple principle: someone denounced something, either it is an honest gesture coming from somebody trying to act against genuinely bad acts on internet, either it can be someone pushing forth their own agenda, though it is somewhat always the case in some way. Pushing your agenda is not necessarily a bad thing depending on who you are, but doing it by digging through old posts to attack any form of opposition, because you think that something said 8 years ago still holds up in present times, or just because you didn't find anything satisfying enough in current days, is obviously vicious. Obviously the second category of people is the problem, because cancel culture works like a truck on a highway. It starts off simply and slowly, but as more and more people get on board it becomes heavier and will never stop on time. If a guy happens to slip up and end in their way, they will not be able to slow down enough before violently driving over the poor dude. Cancel culture is composed of multiple stages. 1. Someone denounced something you have done or said, whatever if your actions are actually a problem to society or just a problem to themselves. 2. Other users notice as like moth the slowly growing light that is your drama. They come to check it out, but they will only read about it for 30 seconds before making themselves their opinion, which will conveniently be the same as the rest of their not so progressive hive mind. 3. Now it is up to who can make the best punchline to insult you or your fans. Obviously cancel culture does not leave room for divergent opinion. Supporting a target will make you the next one. Of course, the attacks you will be the victim of will more than often be worse than what brought this onto you, but hey, at least they think they made the world a better place, huh? Because many of those who take parts in these raids don't actually want justice, they want drama. The blood-craving weirdos want to attack the successful ones, the deal being to understand why. Maybe jealousy, or maybe it is something more profound. Cancel culture is basically shutting down opinions that displease, content that shocks, and comedy that dares to be edgy, even though let's be honest, the only comedy that makes you and me laugh is often edgy in some way. Cancel culture is a coward's movement because the concept is just to cut someone from social media. Like seriously? That does not stop a sex offender or a racist, but that breaks the career of some victims. It is not banning problems, it's about banning the subject of the problems. It's on the same level as closing your eyes hoping that stuff will go away, expect that not reality, that's retarded. Now I am not for a disappearance of these mob effect that can be found everywhere. either in real life or on the web. I know it's common to criticize web users by saying that they wouldn't speak up IRL like they do on Twitter, but I think this is good that social media allows some people to give their opinion on everything, the keyword being there. And an opinion is valuable, even if biased, when you at least are in possession of enough knowledge to connect dots and craft your opinion yourself. Group effect always has a strong impact on the decision-making of people, that is natural, though it is not a positive effect when it allows peoples across the world to adhere to lazily built opinions, and when you accommodate too well with that way of living, you become an easily swayed tool, a hot commodity for anti-vax, flat earther, sex or any other proven to be wrong beating strong, actually useless movements. By the moment you let someone else decide for you what you should think, you let a part of you die. We're reminded all the time that everyone is unique, well, not so much when everyone is only partly themselves. Think for yourself is an easy to say instruction when our society is controlled by the media who can transmit, emit, customize and censor any information that they please, eventually reaching such a degree of control that they basically decided the winner of USA 2020, while using their propaganda to denounce other propaganda. This is what actual dictators are missing, introducing a propaganda controlled by the masses. All of this is not 100% facts, but they are my opinions that I tried my best to build myself. Also, a nice way of knowing if your opinion is actually yours is to see if you are able to defend it without saying contradictory shit. Obviously, if everyone had their own opinion, movements like cancel culture would simply not exist. I assume they wouldn't, because everyone would be much more divided on every subject, which would lead to actual debate and interesting conclusion. Ignorance is what these groups need to be able to rapidly bring together large crowds. Cancel culture works when it pushes those in control of the media it takes place on to censor or shut down entirely the target. Cancel culture puts forth an issue and consists of making such a mediatic bait for drama news and channels that usually the movement uses their visibility, if they get any, to kind of take the platform hostage. By knowing full well since Adpocalypse that brands who support the platforms would rather not get associated with the drama, so they risk removing their ads from the website, thus killing its money influx, a risk social media owners would rather not take. It's like child screaming their lungs out at another child because they know that their parents will punish prior to trying to understand, because they don't want to lose their good impression on the neighbors. Weird example but kind of appropriate. Brands don't care about watching 3 different videos explaining the drama to make the best decision. All that matters is that human flood of screeching and pissing unhappy web users, that makes someone else's words look like a mass murder. Cancel culture spills out of the social justice warrior movement, ideas that are actually wholesome and that I wish would actually become an integral part of our society. However, the application is pathetic and ends up more being like a gathering of Karens and hateful sad turds. Often these movements make themselves so cancerous because they are not organized militant. They are basically just throwing ideas, often good ideas, into the pit that is internet, where people will try to apply these societal concepts by enforcing them through insults, harassment, which is ironic, and childish behavior. This reaches such an extent of incompetence that some would rather not say that they support social justice out of fear of being framed as an actual bad person. Like, seriously? And the problem with feeling righteous even if you're not is that you will not control yourself. Harassment during these attacks can reach alarming states. Many are told to end their own life for something they have said. Some are attacked when they aren't actually responsible and when the masses are done assaulting them. Some of the victims may never put forth anything anymore out of fear of being hammered into the ground by ignorance. Cancel culture is like many movements that works on oppression basis. Its ideas are completely shadowed by its modes of operation. The messages it tries to send are stained by the fact they originate from it, making them uncared for and even making progressive ideas looking like they're oppressive. Thanks for listening to my TED Talk, subscribe if you please, and good day.